Ladies and gentlemen, our final speaker this morning is Honorable Delbert Hosemann, Republican. He's our Lieutenant Governor of the state of Mississippi.
Well, good morning, everybody. Got to move this up from the short guy. First, I want to tell you I'm with the best Republican woman I know, my wife Lynn, right here. You know, it's the first Neshoba County Fair since the election in 2023. So first, thank you so much for hiring me. We are so appreciative of the support we've got, not only here, but throughout the state of Mississippi. So thank you. The first thing is thank you very much. Thinking back to 2020, and that was our first scheduled Neshoba County Fair when y'all hired me the first time to be Lieutenant Governor. Things really look different in Mississippi. If you remember, we were in the throes of a pandemic and the fair had been canceled for the first time since World War II. What a difference that 4 years makes since then. Now our state's in the best fiscal shape it has ever been in. Lowering taxes, paying down debt, saving up for a rainy day. We've done all of that during that 4 years. We prioritize your roads, your bridges, we prioritize your schools, and I'm ready for the next 4 years. And I want to give you a report card on what we did last year. I see my senators out here, Senator Sparks, saw Senator Johnson here a little bit ago, Senator Tate. So good to have my senators with me today. Last year, we invested $380 million in new funding for roads, bridges, and other infrastructure in Mississippi. This was $50 million for maintaining the roads that we got already, $30 million for county roads and bridges. I was just visiting with one of our boards of supervisors. That keeps your ad valorem taxes low when we help them fix your roads and bridges. And then the thing we haven't done in a while, $250 million for new highways in Mississippi. It was time for that. Between funding MDOT, which we did this year, and the sewer and water match program, no other state really did that, where we match water and sewer things that the city put up. Turned out to be about $900 million. Investment in our public assets, y'all, our state parks, people drove past them to get somewhere else. Within the next 2 years, they will be completely redone to where you'll stay there with your families. So important to Mississippi. When you add all of that up, y'all, it came to $3 billion we've invested in your assets that you own in Mississippi this last year. We retooled our education formula. You know we've been very strong on our education formula. We injected another $217 million in this year, not for administration, but for schools, for teachers, for people that are going to teach our children. $100 million last year and a $250 million pay raise the year before that for our teachers. We're finally getting to where we acknowledge how important our teachers are to the state of Mississippi. Those allocations consider every individual. When you look at this, we cover rural if you're from a rural area or you have a special needs child. All of those are so important, and our children are our future. We passed a law allowing retired teachers to come back to work. I never understood why they didn't do that. Retired teachers who want to come back to work have to repay some of their retirement benefits to the state retirement system. So we did that this year. We're 5,000 teachers short in Mississippi, and we need our retired teachers, the ones that have that experience and still love the job, we need to have it where they can come back to work here. We did the ESAs, the Education Scholarship Funds for special needs kids in Mississippi, and Lynn and I have devoted a good bit of our life to that. That's very important. They're our children as well, and we need to cover them. On health care, we helped lower the cost for your prescription drugs. We made ambulances as a backup in rural areas. We had prenatal care for moms and unborn children. A lot of work in the healthcare industry. We continue to run your state like a business. That's what you expect from us. In the span of the last 5 years, we have $700 million in the rainy day fund. We have reduced the number by attrition of state employees by 2,000. We've set aside $400 million for hurricane relief money. And the thing the press won't tell you about, or others that are complaining about something won't tell you about, we paid off $1.2 billion of your debt in bonds this year. Every time we reduce your bond debt, we don't send as much interest money to New York City banks. And we really don't and will not obligate your future by increasing your debt. A couple other things we did while this was going on. We outlawed Communist China and Iran from owning farmland in Mississippi. That was unbelievable that we would allow our land to be owned by countries that are directly opposed to us. You know what else we told? We told boys they couldn't go in the girls' locker rooms. I can tell you right now, if I'd have gone in the girls' locker rooms and my dad found out about it, I wouldn't be standing here. There'd be somebody else would be lieutenant governor today. Solid conservative government. That's what you expect from us, and that's what we're giving you. So let me talk about the future. When we get through with the election process, we start talking about the future. We start talking about the things you talk about: inflation, economy, education, health care, the things you talk about at your kitchen table. Lynn and I talk about at our kitchen table. And not only that, we talk about with people all over the state of Mississippi, and I've been all out from North Mississippi to the coast. What do y'all need next year? We need to get started on next year. First, every dollar we spend on infrastructure is a dollar well invested in the future of Mississippi. It's critical for us, not only for economic development, but to get our kids to school. So as long as I'm your lieutenant governor, we're going to continue to maintain our highways and build new ones for you to get to work and to get your children to school. I want to talk to you about taxes, because that seems to be a hot topic every year. In the last few years, we have cut $524 million out of our income taxes in Mississippi. It's gradual going down the next 2 years to 2026. We'll have a 4% flat rate, one of the lowest in the country. We're phasing in the elimination of the franchise tax, $42 million a year. We're lowering the business and economic tax, but we haven't lowered the one we need to, and that's the grocery tax. And so this year, it's time to lower the grocery tax. We have work to do with women and children, and that involves child care, health care, adoption, human trafficking. All those things are going on. And being pro-life means being pro-birth, also pro-family, and pro-child. We have work to do there. I want to talk about health care for just a second. I got a letter from a pastor here in Philadelphia the other day, and he was talking about how he had a school there, a safe place for children that they ran so that they could be left there while their parents went to work. And he said one of the things we can't give them is health care, because it'd be too expensive for working parents to pay for us to take care of them at the church, take care of children at the church. And so he wanted to know if we could provide access to health care for working men and women. We can do that, and this is the year to do that. On our labor force participation rate, y'all, we're at 53.8%. It's the drag on our economy. Almost half of our population is not working now. This summer, I appointed some senators to take a look at that. Senator Sparks is here. With record unemployment in Mississippi, y'all, some of our cities are less than 3%. We're at full employment. Everybody that wants a job in Mississippi can get a job today. And we're continuing to expand with AI and in Columbus on the mill and electric bank. All of these things are coming to a head. We need more workers. So I've asked Senator Sparks and others to make sure that we've got the opportunity for people to get that job and be educated enough sufficiently to take that job. Working people means healthy people. Working people take care of their families, and they contribute to taxes where you can lower yours. Very important for us. There's two things I want to talk about on education, and we'll wrap up on that. During the pandemic, we went from 13% chronic absentee rate. We went from that to 28%. A quarter of our kids weren't back in school. Right now, today, it's 24%. That's way too high. Every mom and dad needs to know if their children are not in school. They need to let you know that. They're your children. The second is we need to raise the base pay for school attendance officers. They can go to Mississippi State University and get a collegiate job, get an education, and then when they start their job, the starting salary is $24,000 a year. That's not going to maintain and attract people to come to work for us. And then lastly, we need to reemphasize with local boards of education that they have the opportunity to select a modified calendar. Now that's in Corinth and Ocean Springs. It's spreading all over Mississippi where kids go a little bit longer in the summer and they have spring break, they have fall break, they miss Christmas, Thanksgiving, but they're basically in a continuing education mode with appropriate breaks for them. That means that they are in a safe learning environment. Going back to this absentee issue, they're in safe learning environment. Our teachers love that. All of those studies show over 80 and 90% of our teachers love being in that environment, and they love the fact that they're in attendance and they recharge their batteries. And quite frankly, it keeps kids out of mischief. We need to look at that, and all of our boards of education need to relook at the possibility of doing that. Several states in Mississippi, and this is a pet peeve, I've started reading the book about this, and it's the use of cell phones and for our children. In Marshall County and Holly Springs, Mississippi, they have to put their cell phones out in a little bag when they go to school. What a novel, good idea. Since we started cell phones in 2012 and 2013, y'all, the incidence of chronic depression among our children, among young women has gone up 145%. Among young men, 161%. They just had a national survey of teachers and individuals and principals and superintendents. Oh, they say over 80% of the time this distracts the children and it leads to bullying over the internet. Our kids, when they're seating, we need them to be in their chairs. We need them sitting in those seats to be learning. But when they're there, they need to be making sure they're in a learning environment and they don't need to be checking their text and their message from their boyfriend or girlfriend. They're there for an education and not to run up the cell phone bills for large corporations so they can make money. Lastly, I want to say this. I hope y'all are looking at this. We're watching the Olympics now. Every night when I come home, we like to watch those. And I will tell you, I get choked up watching our young men and women, how excited they are to come represent our country. And then you see those backstories, what they had to give up to get there for that opportunity to represent you. And we have 10 or 15 of them from Mississippi that are over there. The United States is 1% of this country's population, and it is 99% of the leadership for human freedom in this country, and you see it in those Olympics. Please do not forget to vote. President Trump is on the ballot. Senator Wicker is on the ballot. We need good conservative government in Mississippi. No assassination can stop us from going to the polls. We need to go to the polls. Lynn and I are looking forward to working for Mississippi and making an even better place for we have 8 grandchildren, for our grandchildren to live and work, raise their families in the next 3 years. And after that, if you keep hiring me, I intend to keep working. So we're looking forward to the next few years, and may God bless the state of Mississippi, the United States of America. Thank y'all all so much. Thank you, everybody.